progeny, perspective, and the pursuit of the collective. Jingle incoming as we add to our team. Thank you for your patience as we take our first baby steps here. I'm Aliya, your host, and this is Connective Collective, where guests come from all backgrounds and all levels of knowledge in family history, and we discover together. Before we meet, they send me one of their ancestors for me to do a deep dive on. I prepare a presentation, then we meet and go over the information in the hopes that it is the impetus they needed to get over the hump wherever they're at in their family history journey. They may already know lots about them, their family may have very little information on them, or it may be a roulette choice. Research done for these episodes is only done with free resources so that you can be empowered to start or re-pick up your journey as well. This podcast is for anyone, anywhere. We discover the good, the bad, but always the beauty. This is episode 3. 10-4, I've got a hostage situation in progress. Today we have
Angela.
Angela is my cousin, so how we met is birth.
Yeah.
Cousins. We've been lucky to be in each other's lives forever.
Ever. We're only a year apart, so really, like,
Forever.
all of my memories, like, you're there.
So yeah, like since I was sentient, you were there.
Yeah, exactly.
Our moms are sisters, and then our moms married very different ethnicities. So this has been so cool for me to like get to know and love you on such a different level.
Oh, that's really cute.
I don't know. This whole pursuit is so joyful, and this was cool for me because I learned the most so far. How many episodes have I done? I've only done 2. The other 2 episodes I've done, I had much more of a background in them.
Mm-hmm.
And in the topics and locations and stuff. And I realized while doing this one that I knew like nothing.
Oh, that's so interesting.
And so it was so fun and so entertaining.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm glad it was fun. I'm so excited.
Here we go. So yes, we have Angela. Yay! Pop, potion, or puree. What do you have to drink?
Diet Coke, because if you are part of Aliya's and my family, Diet Coke is very important. So I thought, what better for the cousin pod? Dude, I miss Swig so bad.
Okay, Texas has Swigs now.
Really? But I do have a beautiful Coca-Cola glass.
And you have the fancy glass.
Mm-hmm.
And fancy ice. Do you have an ice maker?
No, it's just like from an ice tray. Our Aunt Mel has this beautiful like pebble ice maker, and I was at her house once and I was like, that is how I will know I've made it in life, is like when I have my own pebble ice maker.
We for Mother's Day this year, we got my mom one, and she's like, it's so loud, but she loves it. She always
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I wish that I had thought of that because I do love a Diet Coke, but I have become such a Dr. Pepper girly. Living in Texas, especially. I'm like, Dr. Pepper, all the things.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, like the Dr. Pepper Museum is here in Texas. It's actually only like
I did not know that.
You can like taste test every single flavor they've ever released, which I am livid because my favorite flavor didn't come back this summer. It's the coconut one. They had Dr. Pepper Zero coconut version because I love Dr. Pepper Zero girly, and I'm so livid that it didn't come back this year. But people on the TikTok and the gram were posting that it was like released in California and Arizona, but it didn't come back to
Was that Texas, home of the Dr. Pepper Museum? That's crazy.
Breaks my heart, but
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. So my husband and I just got back from being out of town all summer, and so we have not really grocery shopped yet. So I have water with some flavor in it today.
Okay, what's your flavor?
Raspberry lemonade. And I wanted to put, I had like frozen raspberries in the freezer, and I like opened the bag. I was like, I'm gonna have my little fancy lemonade. And they were freezer burnt. They were like completely snowballed.
No.
Like ice shards. I was like, okay, yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to taste that. So
yeah, no, thank
need
you.
to go to the grocery store. But so I have my sad little drink today. I did use an Italian flag because we are focusing specifically on your Italian line. But she's got an amalgamation of other things from our mother's line. But we're focusing on the Italian side.
Shout out Mimi and Denny.
I guess. Okay, so for this ancestor, do you know a little bit about them? Lots, or was it a roulette ancestor choice?
I know very little.
Okay.
Maybe roulette. Well, I Yeah, I chose her because of her name, which you'll get into. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about her.
What is your background in family history? Have you been interested in it? Have you ever really gone into it? Or was it something that was like, that's difficult and for old people?
When I was a teenager, I was really interested in it and I did a lot of indexing.
Oh,
I remember it was like one of the personal progress things you could do. So, like, I spent a lot of time doing that on Sundays. But I honestly felt really intimidated trying to do stuff for my own Italian side. My aunt has done a lot of stuff like on Ancestry, but I didn't really know how to do things by myself. And then right after my mission, this is my Aunt Marianne, she actually gave me a packet of a bunch of records. So I got all of those into Family Search. So that's the reason that any of them are in Family Search at all, I think. So that was like 9 years ago. It's been a while, but I've been really curious. But it's been sporadic.
I didn't see anything that you had uploaded. So
Oh,
maybe it was on a different family line.
yeah, or maybe it was all Ancestry or something. Yeah.
Maybe you did it on Ancestry. Yeah, which we love Ancestry. They are a corporation. They do have free options, but you do have to pay, honestly, for a lot of other things. That's why I do focus on Family Search because it's an organization. It's completely free. So all of the records that I did find were old films that had been uploaded that Family Search goes and a part of their processes it's basically taking pictures, but it's the way that they take the pictures. It's not you can't see the hand of the person holding the books open. It blacks out the person's hand because it's a specific type of taking photos of old records. Whatever that word is, that's what it was. Ancestry, it's not necessarily as much of a crowdsourcing campaign. Also why it is so useful because it's oftentimes more correct because anyone can come into Family Search and change or add things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so how it started. So in the beginning, we had Angela Sabatiana Polizzi. There was one record attached. Her parents were recorded, but that was the end of the line. There were no records of her husband's line, and there were no dates. Now we have Angela Sebastiana Polizzi.
Oh, nice.
9 records are attached, and she actually has the fewest. So I think that I know that there's a ton that is missing, and we'll get into where I think that is. But I've got 3 extra generations added now.
Oh my gosh.
I found her husband's side
Uh-huh.
and dates and records all the way back to the 1700s.
Aliya, that's so cool.
She only has 9 records attached. The generations before her that I found and the generations after have like 20. So I know that there is stuff missing on her, which is that'll be a part of like your homework to continue the deep dive. But
yeah.
Here is a general timeline. So I did the Italian flag for your intro, but technically we're focusing on this flag.
Yes, this is my Sicilian side. My grandpa was Napolitano. So, yeah, different different lines. Yeah.
Very different line. Yeah, but she did technically live when Italia. I've been watching lots of historical videos. Now my brain, I guess, was like, say it correctly. Yikes. So she was born in unified Italy, but was very Sicilian.
Yes, that makes sense.
For our viewers, and Angela, you may know any and all of the information I give you. Hop in, but I'm gonna over explain it. If it jogs any memories, bring it up, or if you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I do remember learning about that in school, or yes, I remember my grandma talking about that, whatever.
Okay.
This is an oversimplified version of the timeline that we're gonna talk about, but you've got native Sicily all the way up here, back to historians have mapped it to I think like 2000 BC and all the different tribes. And you've got the Kingdom of Sicily, the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. I want you to watch this show and I'll talk a little bit about the Lions of Sicily TV show that I found for you. Have you seen it?
No.
You heard of it?
No.
Brand new.
I'm so excited.
It's freaking good. I watched only the first 3 episodes just to get a context, just to see is this something worth recommending to her, or just watch it and be like, what the heck is this? And it was fabulous. It's very specific, and to be fair, the credits are in Italian. But it was very bizarre to watch it. I prefer watching shows in their original language with subtitles than with the dubs.
I do too. Yeah, I don't love a dub. Yeah.
I'm like, they're not feeling the acting in their soul.
Yeah.
It's not working for me.
You thespian.
Oh gosh, help. I did watch it in Italian, and it obviously has English subtitles, but the credits are in Italian, and I'm pretty sure that it said, anyone can correct me? The Sicilian historical something helped with it. Like, basically, it's highly researched. It's a high quality show, high budget, that filmed on location, and it's all takes place from 1802 to 1890 something, which is
Wow.
really is going to give you a good picture of Angela's life and her parents, and specifically the economic, industrial, and civil issues of the time that lead to a lot of your family's choices, honestly.
Oh, that's
So
so
that'll be
cool.
a show for you to watch. And your husband, I should pop in, speaks Italian.
Yeah.
Is not Italian, but speaks Italian.
Yeah.
So that'll be a little fun showy show for you guys.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. Thank you for finding that. That's awesome.
Yes, I will. After doing the last episode, I had such a good movie for her to watch. I was like, "Oh, I should give people visuals," and because I love a visual, I'm a very visual
Yeah.
learner, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like watching a show where I'm like, I can plop my ancestors in as background characters feels very satisfying to me. I feel like
Yeah,
I know them. I'm like, oh, look at them.
totally.
She's
Yeah.
she's in the background cleaning the fireplace.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so this line is not going to be the main characters of this show by far. The main characters are merchants, and but it will give you a very good idea of the class struggle, because Italy, Sicily, and all honestly Europe was extremely classist,
Mm.
which is why a lot of people immigrated to America for a new opportunity and a new life.
Yeah.
It was extremely classist, and your family was towards the bottom. Not the bottom of the barrel, but they were bottom.
Towards the
So they were
bottom.
struggling.
Yeah.
Their life was very hard and sad. And my heart ached doing this research. I was like,
Oh,
life was so hard.
wow.
But yeah, so this is the general timeline. We've got Italy becomes unified officially in 1860. Angela is born in 1877.
Mm-hmm.
Then her children all immigrate to
Yeah.
Massachusetts, which your father is from
Massachusetts. Yeah.
Massachusetts. Okay.
Mhm.
And then I even found records. So Family Search protects anyone who is alive. Nobody can see them, but records do populate already still, especially if you're old. So I did find some of Angelina's records. Who
Oh,
is Angela's grandmother?
oh my gosh. That's
Correct?
so cool. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wait a second.
Yes.
Angelina is still with us.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't seen anything.
She's 91, but
Yeah,
she's still kicking.
she's so vibrant. I freaking love her.
I love her so much. Yeah.
So cute. So I did find her line. I did populate her onto my tree just so I could then add Frank, your father, and then you, just for visual purposes.
Yeah. Amazing.
Nobody else will ever be able to see it, but well, until you die.
Yeah.
But so these are the maps I have for
Ooh.
context purposes specific to this line and story. So we've got Italy, but the Kingdom of Two Sicilies used to encompass the top of North Africa all the way up to here. The papacy had the second half of modern day Italy, but then also over here, which makes so much more sense because online AI was like, there is no noticeable difference between Sicilians and Italians. I'm like, lies. I feel like I can definitely tell.
Yeah.
And not always, like, because people are mixed, but Sicilians are typically a little browner, spicier, and
Shorter. Yeah.
shorter, and have so much more spices in their food.
Yeah.
The merchants brought spices and stuff from
Oh, that's cool.
Africa, modern day North Africa, but also like the Middle East is literally right here. Little editorial blip here. The Moors the Moors are a Muslim group from North Africa, and they ruled the Spain, Italy area from 711 to 1492. So obviously that was more deeply ingrained into Sicily, with Sicily being their very, very next door, backdoor neighbors. We talk about that in the language a little further on in the episode as well, the Moorish influence still prevalent in the Sicilian dialects. But yes, there you go. My apologies. Like I said, I didn't know very much about this topic prior to going into it.
We're going to specifically focus on Sicily because most of your family does come from Kingdom of Two Sicilies, but they really do focus most of their births, deaths, marriages, everything is happening on the island.
Okay.
So you're an island girl.
Island girl.
We're going to focus within this island, specifically on the Caltanissetta region, mostly. They do travel, but they were not seafaring folk, your people that we're focusing on. So they weren't like fishermen. They were farmers, so they were more in this like mountain range area.
Okay.
But specifically, this is Caltanissetta, and then this is over here, we've got an emblem. This is your like flag of Caltanissetta.
Oh, cute.
That is very small, so I have another one. But also right here, this little red section, if you're watching our presentation. If you're not watching our presentation, the boot is kicking Sicily. And then it is the region in the middle, honestly, just like in the middle, straight up middle.
Yeah,
it's
straight up
the navel of Sicily.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Which it makes super, super sense. I didn't include one of the photos, but the way the mountain range is and the way they settled on the mountain range is literally like a person fully splayed.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. So there it's like arms, like a squiggle head, and then legs.
Oh, yeah.
So like literally the navel. So it's right there. So here, those are our maps for context.
Cool.
And then these are the cities, villages, and communes. I wanted to give a visual just.
Oh my gosh, it's adorable.
We've got Castelvetrano that we're gonna semi-focus on. She is a fishing dock port area. She's got all that old Roman architecture from long, long ago. Caltanissetta is where we're gonna mostly focus. And she is on top of the mountains. She is up there.
It's so pretty.
This is like the main cathedral here. There are so many churches and stuff, though. I really wanted to find you some churches that were specific to your family. But not being an Italian speaker, doing my very best to rummage through the Italian records, I have yet to find that. So with your Italian-speaking husband, you guys could find more.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it is recorded somewhere. I would say that because of your classification, you probably weren't allowed in the nicer churches. But this is one of the most famous churches in Caltanissetta, which is now modern day Enna.
My dad and his siblings and their parents too, did a whole trip in 98, and they spent a lot of time in Enna. They were still like cousins and stuff, so they actually got to talk to people. Yeah, sounded so cool.
Did they record it? Did they like write these stories down?
I think so. Like we just saw like some family videos like a few months ago. It was so cool.
I don't think you can upload video yet, but you can upload audio and you can upload photos and you can upload stories. So you could even just say maybe someone tries to connect to this line and they have nothing. If they see that you've contributed to the line and have said, my father went and talked to the cousins, we have records and footage of these encounters, blah, blah, blah. Someone could message you then and be like, oh my gosh, would you be willing to send that to me?
Wow, yeah.
That way you still keep it private, but you show people that there is access.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, I mean, your line they be having babies. So,
so real, yeah.
Okay, so we've covered the cities, villages, communes that your family line that we're specifically talking about are from. Here's an overview of the sources that we were able to attach.
Ooh.
Everything was original documents through familysearch.org. Some have been transcribed, so you have to take into consideration a native speaker's ability to transcribe. For those of you who don't know what transcribing is or indexing, this is what Angela was talking about earlier. She would spend hours indexing in order to gain hours for kind of similar to an Eagle project that our church used to do. The boys are all going to come from me. You know what? We put in so many hours. We didn't have to do the hiking, but we did so many hours of work. So we would index and put in hours of service indexing. Indexing, if you've never done it before, it is so fun, especially if you speak another language. I highly encourage you to go and try. To be fair, it is already very hard in your native language. So
it is. I would get really frustrated.
It's so fun. I adore looking at old documents because I'm like, these people stood in front of this person who hand wrote this information.
Wow, that is a really cool way to think about it.
Oh, I just got chills. It's like,
Me too.
heart. It just, these people stood there because when you see the indexed information from an original document, all it says is names, parents' names if they're included. It's just the information that is dire to the record. So ages, location, name. I love AI for family history because what I've been doing is taking those old documents, plopping them into AI, free AI. I just wait for my time or I use a different email because you can only do a certain amount of whatever a day. But my free AI, I drop it in and it'll completely translate the whole record. And it'll say, standing before me is so and so who has declared on this day they want to take this person to wife and blah, blah. And it's just like so much more personal. It's not just like information.
Yeah.
Whatever. And if they have declared that they are not married to anyone else and will want to join in marriage to each other. And that had to be read to them.
Mm.
So I feel like hearing the whole real document brings to life them standing there in front of them.
Totally. Yeah. That's really special.
Indexing, like Angela said, can get very difficult because, and we are from the generation, Angela and I are not old, but we are from the generation that had to learn handwriting.
Yeah, we still learned cursive, but it was still hard. Like if you're watching, you can even tell, like, I don't know what any of that says. Like,
yeah, so I've got on this slide, if you're not watching, one of these. This is a birth certificate, acto de nacita, and then the AI version of it next to each other. But what is, oh, this is something that I was going to say when I was watching Lines of Sicily. I felt like I understood it. I was watching it in the original Italian, but I was like, I swear I understand this because I am a conversational Spanish speaker. And so I was like, this is bizarre because I don't have any background besides you guys coming in contact with people who are Italian or speaking Italian. So it was a cool introduction to like listening to the Italian language. It was like a sing-songy version of cousin of Spanish. And so I was like, wow, I'm following.
That's so cool.
So it was nice to be able to not have to heavily rely on the subtitles, but it was so cool. And I definitely found that also with looking at the records. So again, this is a way to encourage anyone who is not a native speaker of the language that they're trying to, maybe the line they're trying to get more information on. AI can translate the document, and then you just have to take with a grain of salt all of the handwriting portions because AI cannot read it either. They can kind of make out some of it. AI can make the images clearer. They can do a lot of other things, and then you can take them to specialists if you need to, or you can sit there and very carefully analyze the person who wrote this handwriting and be like, all right, I now recognize that this is an F. Okay, this is a T. So, because everyone's handwriting is so specific to them. I feel like I've gotten really good at deciphering handwriting. So with the original documents, you have to take into a native speaker versus a non-native speaker's ability to index the document, and then also the legibility of handwriting. Ergo, there is a lot of human error from the 1800s when the document was written, and now trying to understand it. Also, with original documents, there is a lot of Americanization of names and nicknames. They may have gone by a middle name and they'll use a middle name for all of their records, but then randomly another name will appear and you're like, oh, it's not the same person, it's a different name. But it's actually is the same person, it's just their first name. They went by their middle name because it was their grandpa's name or something. So that you just have to take your time. Don't rule things out too quickly without really analyzing them. And you can always just not attach it to a person if you're unsure. And then with AI translating, AI is also trying to take in the legibility of the handwriting, the quality of the document. So taking with a grain of salt the handwriting, once you get the AI translation, it's kind of using your human brain with the AI brain then to match things together like a puzzle piece. What I did to fix a lot of this line was name checking legitimacy, literally just in Google. In a lot of the documentation, probably because the same person indexed all of the same documents and then didn't understand the handwriting of the person, it had this line, Angela's, I think grandma's line, as vestido. That sounds Italian, like vestido. That could be Italian. But then I started seeing other things with the last name Restido. And so I Googled vestido name origin and it said, this is not a name. You know what I mean? It's just like,
wow,
double check. You're like, okay, well, that could look in cursive like this name. So which one is correct?
That's so much work. That's amazing that you did all that.
It's sleuthing.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's cool.
So that's some overview of that. So we're going to specifically talk about Angela.
Hey.
who is also our guest, but also this Angela. Her parents, oh yeah, Restivo. It was her mom. But it said Vestivo for a lot of these records. Then I started seeing Restivo, and so I was like, crap, I am assuming it's the same line. Let's double check why the name would be spelled differently. And then it just turns out it's just an indexing error.
Yeah.
Angela, she's the third Angela in the mother's birth records.
Wow.
So they reused the name Angela because 2 Angelas passed away before her. But I think one of them, off the top of my head, I can't exactly remember, but one of them lived like to be 2 years old and then passed away. And then one only lived a couple weeks or something. So you see that a lot, which can get confusing because you're like, oh, well, I can't add this record to this person because it's the wrong year. Oftentimes they just reuse names.
Yeah, the different.
Yeah, so they are different children. Times were hard.
Yeah.
So it could have been that they just birthed really sick babies. It also could have just been they were super poor and maybe couldn't afford, or maybe there were injuries, or really it was survival of the fittest. So there were 9 births of record, meaning who knows about miscarriages, but 9 births of record. It looks like there were only a core 5 that survived, maybe even 4. I didn't see the death records of everyone, but at most she was the middle of 5. Interestingly, they do give birth to her in Castelvetrano, which was more by the sea, not in that middle part of Sicily that we were talking about, but they are from Castrogiovanni and raise her in Castrogiovanni. So that it could be, sometime you could maybe find records or diaries or whatever of why they were over there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Pieces of the puzzle. On her parents' marriage certificate, Mariano and Maria, they list that he was a laborer, a farmer, and he was also the son of a laborer and a farmer. He was 23 years old, and then we've got a little cougar over here. She was 25. Yeah. On Angela's birth certificate, when I did the translation, it says the record was taken 1877, 12 February at 1:15 in the afternoon. Polizzi, aged 32, who is a shopkeeper living here in Castelvetrano, proclaims to me that a female child was born to him of his wife, Maria Restivo, in their home at 1:07, 11 February of this year. He presents her to me and gives her the name Angela.
Oh,
like that's so much more.
yeah.
I love seeing the original wording, because when you look at the indexed version, it's just like name, father's name, date. And it's just like, okay, cool. But reading it like that, you're like, he stood there and said, "This is my baby."
Yeah, that's really sweet.
If you, the audience, end up watching Lions of Sicily, you'll see that this family leaves the lower section of Kingdom of Two Sicilies, the bottom half of the boot, to go to the island of Sicily in Palermo to buy a cousin's shop and to work in the shop in a main port in Sicily. So what's so cool about these records, Angela's parents' marriage certificate versus Angela's birth certificate, but then, going on to Angela's marriage certificate later on down the line, her parents are in Caltanissetta farmland, have her when they're living in Castelvetrano, and it says where he was a laborer and a farmer, now it says he's a laborer and a shopkeeper. So very cool. Maybe they tried some sort of enterprise over in the fishing area, in the dock area, in a different city. It ended up not working out, so they went back to their home in Caltanissetta. Sleuthing.
Liv's birthday and my Uncle Ted's birthday on my dad's side are both February 12th. So they are both just a day apart from her. That is really cool.
Angela, Olivia, Frank, Dominic. Whew! They are all over this line. That's her dad's name and her siblings' names. We've got Angela's marriage certificate. It's listed as taking place 5 February 1894. And something to always remember about going back to this birth certificate, sometimes her birthday will be listed as the 12th of February because people are just looking like, oh, the record was 12th of February, blah, blah, blah. Her birthday was actually the 11th of February. The record was taken the 12th. Not that that's a huge deal. So same thing with the marriage certificates. I don't know exactly how it was done in Sicily at the time, but you have like marriage bans, which were where you posted in the newspaper for a minimum of 2 weeks to make sure that you weren't married to anyone else. But it was also like where wedding announcements came from, because you sent that out to be like, hey, is anyone already married to this person? So it's like a proclamation of I would like to get married. So sometimes people will put that as the marriage date, but it's actually the marriage bans or whatever. You've also got the marriage certificate, could be different from the actual marriage day, depending on if they do the certificate and then a week later went and got married. Again, grain of salt. So the marriage certificate record was 5 of February 1894, Castel Giovanni in Sicily. I'll have you read this.
The year 1891, on the 5th day of February at 11 o'clock in the morning and 15 minutes, in the town hall of Contessa Entellina, open to the public. Francesco, a farmer born in Contessa Entellina. Angela, a farmer born in Contessa Entellina, residing in the same, daughter of the late Mariano, who lived in Contessa Entellina, and of Rosalia Maria, residing in Contessa Entellina.
That is that document right here.
Cool.
Francesco is listed as 24 years old and Angela is listed as 16. Consent had been lifted to 16. They were super poor. Her father had already passed away. Likely, mom was like, you need to get married.
Yeah.
You're not going to survive.
Mhm.
So you need a man.
Yeah.
It could have been an arranged marriage. It could have been like a matchmaking situation, or it could have been that they genuinely did love each other and went and got married.
Times were different, but it is still like
Different and hard, and so it was a survival tactic. I've got a little blip here for historical context. While the specific age of consent for all parts of Italy in the 1800s is complex due to the peninsula's political division, the age of consent was generally 12 years old, so when they hit puberty, in the earlier 19th century. The Kingdom of Sardinia passed laws that were adopted by the rest of the unified country, raising it to 13 years of age in 1863 and 16 years by 1885. And remember, she was born in 77, and this is taking place in 94.
To end this marriage certificate section on a slightly higher note, because history, the good, the bad, and the beauty, I have here from the marriage certificate that we have on the presentation for you to view. So sorry if you're just listening, but here zoomed in, when you analyze the document, this is her signature, as in she signing her marriage certificate. This is her signature, and something to take into account. She was not educated. She may not have known how to read or write, especially since she wasn't a shopkeeper. It wasn't necessarily a skill she needed if she was still a farmer at this point in her life. So it's spelled Agela. It also could have been she was so excited. I know sometimes I miss a letter when I do my signature because I don't pay attention. I don't know. Maybe she missed the N also for that reason. Another thing to think about, and I attach at the end a thank you to this interview, but I did watch an interview about the specific similarities between Arabic, and Sicilian. So specifically the Sicilian dialect. It could be that Angela, has that distinct N, but maybe it was Angela or something, and it's totally skipped over the N, or who knows. These are all very minute details, but really cool to think about in order to build the story and the portrait. So it is spelled Angela instead of Angela, whatever. I don't know, I don't speak Sicilian. There you go. Somebody please send me a voice memo correcting this information. As always, I'd love to play it for the audience. Thanks.
This is an AI photo
oh,
rendering.
that's so cool.
What's really cool about AI, it's kind of like snowflakes. It's so hard to recreate the same photo twice, which is why I kind of like creating AI photos for this series, just because then I don't know, it feels a little bit more removed from the person so that they can have a little bit of respect and privacy in terms of their face being all over my content. But what I did was take a photo I found of you and your dad's sisters on Facebook, and I asked AI to create me a Caltanissetta Sicilian farm girl from the 1890s that looked related to you guys. And then I feature matched your grandma, just, like nostrils, eyebrow shape, and whatever. And, that could have come from her dad. Who knows? But right now we have no photos of her. So this was to give us a visual of what she looked like for now.
That's really cool.
So it's cool, but it is also
You did the feature matching, so you were like editing it too. That's
yeah. So like your grandma seemed to have a little bit rounder eyebrows, and her nose is actually pretty petite.
Yeah.
So nostrils and everything. There we go. But photography did exist, so there are likely photos of her out there. You just don't. Well, maybe you do have access to them. Maybe your cousins and your.
They didn't have any photos, at least in like the packet that she had at that point. Yeah.
Well, they could exist. They were super poor, so maybe they don't.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, was it accessible to poor people at that point?
It was accessible, but why would you spend your money on it? But I do have on this slide, these are actual period photos of
Oh, wow.
of peasants from the same regions. There were, artists, and I thank him at the end, but I think his name was Giuseppe. He had a whole series specifically photographing the peasant class
Wow.
in the 1890s in Sicily. So this is what, I mean, holy Frank.
Yeah.
Like, this just looks like your family. And the clothing, this is a street. I read some stories about how women would barter from the top banisters with
Mm.
people down below, and then they would raise baskets when an agreement was made and just raise baskets up and down instead of coming all the way out of their homes.
Yeah. This is like making me emotional. Like it's just crazy. Like these are real people. Yeah.
Real people that could have been your family's neighbors, literally.
Yeah. Right.
Because this is the exact same time when all this is taking place.
Mhm.
Well, like your family line is taking place. It's just, do we have photos of your family? We don't know yet.
Yeah.
This is key info to understand your family's situation. We'll just read every other one if you want to start with this first.
Okay. Yeah. The average person in Sicily did not speak the Italian language as we know it, but rather their own language. Similar to Italian in many respects, the Sicilian prefers the I and U, which gives it a Moorish, oh my gosh, Moorish or Turkish physiognomy, I'm gonna
Sure.
guess, and terminates both masculine and feminine plurals in I.
The peasant class in Sicily consisted of 5 general types of occupations: agriculture, fishing, peddlers, traveling artisans, and small shopkeepers. And something I want to note here is fishing was like bottom of the barrel. Also, a part of where that phrase comes from, bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Bottom of the barrel fish, you don't want those even sitting there.
Yeah.
So fishing, they were like the bottom. So this specifically, I just wanted to throw here, is a Sicilian fisherman from that time period.
Wow.
You're about to read this little blip about clothing, but right here for a visual, this is those berets that they're about to talk about. You're about to read.
Those are so slay. I've never seen.
Hey, I'm like, bring them back, little nighty beret.
It's giving Ebenezer Scrooge. Clothing styles were markedly different between the classes, at least through the first and third of the 20th century. The poor often wore berets or scarves upon their heads and a cloak to hide the quality of the clothes underneath, while the rich sported regular hats and clothing made of fine textiles.
A farm worker worked hard for very little wages, often leaving for work before dawn and returning long after sundown. Others plied whatever skills they had, entertaining, herb or firewood gathering, even grave digging could produce a small fee, which could put some type of food on the table.
In the latter half of the 19th century, Sicily began to hemorrhage its people. Hunger, poverty, and forced military conscription featured strongly in many Sicilians' decisions to emigrate. Large concentrations of Sicilians emigrated to North and South America, as well as Northern Africa.
That is when all of your family left.
Yeah.
For key resource information, and I'm going to thank this lady at the end, but she says that civil registration began in Sicily in 1820 and has continued unabated, unlike some areas of northern Italy, which sees civil registration from the 1816s to 1865. But parish records can still likely be found from the Council of Trent in 1583 or from the creation of a parish in which you are researching. So if you can figure out what church your family belonged to, likely there are records, especially since your family seems pretty established in one area. They likely had a church they went to. So the births and the baptisms and the marriages, all the records, because it was the Catholic Church, would be kept. Notarial records can likely be found back to the 16th century, depending on the town and the surviving records. Keeping in mind that it was pretty war-torn and the Sicilian and Italian mafias did do some damage to a lot of those buildings. But if the records exist, you could trace your family back to further.
Cool.
Also, she talks about there's agricultural tax records, and they can also be used to trace genealogy work if you understand how the system works.
Mm-hmm.
So really fascinating. Basically, we found records to the mid 1700s, I want to say, on the 4 extended lines, but you can possibly go further back.
Cool. This genealogist, you actually talked to her and stuff?
I didn't. She has a blog.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
But I'm going to send her the episode. Be like, hey, babes, thanks for giving me.
Thanks for the info.
Half my info. Yeah, literally. Your family, again, was in Sicily, but this was a part of 2 Sicilies. but they were part of the island of Sicily in Caltanissetta, and they were farmers. The farming system was a feudal system, and also this is the emblem of Caltanissetta for you to see closer
That's
now.
really cool.
Angela is going to read this blip right here for you that will explain the key characteristics of farms in the 1890s.
The economy of the province was heavily agricultural, with large estates dedicated to staple crops such as wheat and also significant cultivation of olives and other produce. The land was often held by large landowners who rented out plots to tenant farmers. The system created a stark social hierarchy, with landowners benefiting from the labor of the working class who cultivated the land. Many farmers were landless, working as sharecroppers or day laborers, facing harsh living conditions and high rates of poverty. The late 19th century was a turbulent period for Sicily. The region experienced intense social and political struggles, including the rise of peasant and worker movements like Fasci Siciliani, Sicilian Leagues, in the early 1890s, which organized strikes and protested against the existing conditions on the estates. Following the unification of Italy in 1860, the Italian state was still consolidating its power in the south. The 1890s was a period when the state grappled with the deep-rooted social and economic issues on the Sicilian latifondi, sometimes leading to state repression of peasant movements.
In summary, farms in Caltanissetta in the 1890s were part of a complex system of large, often feudal estates where a significant portion of the rural population lived in poverty, leading to widespread social and political unrest, which is why your family left. I don't know if you ever heard about that. You probably did, but jure sanguinis, which was the by right of blood Italian citizenship by descent. So for those of you who don't know what that means, if you were able to trace your lineage with documentation, you could go gain Italian citizenship. RIP, that's ended as of 27 March 2025. So you've just missed it.
So sad.
I know a girl who actually did do this while I was in my master's program. Her family immigrated to South America. So she was Brazilian, but Italian. I went to grad school in the UK. We were both actors. She wanted to be able to stay in the UK and work in the UK. It was harder for her to get a UK work visa as someone from Brazil. And so she went around and got her Italian citizenship so that she could stay in the UK and work because of the EU work permits or however that works. Yeah, beneficial for her. I don't know what you would necessarily need it for, but I thought it was interesting.
I thought it was a cool idea, and I actually didn't know it ended until right this minute, so I'm kind of sad.
So, RIP, I apologize. So, your parent or grandparent now, they've changed the law. So, you can still do it, but your parent or grandparent had to have been born there to apply.
My dad still could.
Your dad could. If he was, maybe it'd be easier for you down the line to apply if you do want it.
Yeah.
So, this is this little bow here on your family line that I've made. Well, that family search generated. Paula, who went by Paulina when she came, or probably Pauline when she came to the States, was the last to be born in Italy of this line specifically. I don't know. You might still be able to qualify on your Kava line.
No, they both came in the same generation.
Sad face.
Sad.
Okay, so we're talking about this ancestor, Angela, her daughter, Paulina. I don't know. Who knows? Not who knows. I don't know, clearly. Angela, all of her children were born in Italy and then immigrated. Also, what I was going to say here is we don't have a death record yet of Angela. We've got the death records of her mother and her mother's mother. It's just a little weird to me that it hasn't popped up.
That is weird.
What's cool about the way things go on the interwebs is the information that is now populated on this tree is marinating. Even in the time that I've been working on it, more records have generated.
Oh, wow.
So you just kind of got to let it marinate. Maybe look at it in a week or a month.
Yeah.
So here's Angela all the way at the bottom. Her father could apply for jure sanguinis, but she cannot, alas, right now.
Sad.
But these are those more generations that we've added, and these even go.
It's so cool.
Okay, so I've got your homework.
Amazing. Oh, my grandma, yes.
Oh, your grandma. Call Angelina. I need the details. We need more information. Just kind of like cleaning up what I've found and just go plop in what you find. I went and added so many memories to your line here, and they're so scrambled, but it builds the picture. It builds the profile so that people can be like, oh, yes, this is who they're talking about. So you're going to call your grandma, ask her some questions about the line, mostly like, hey, do we know where Angela died? Do you have these records? Like, what records do you have specifically of your Polizzi line and just see what she remembers. Since she's around,
Yeah.
she's with it still.
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
The last time I saw her was 6 years ago.
Our wedding.
Go ahead and ask her some questions. I want you to watch this show. You don't need to watch the whole thing. I watched it on Hulu with ads. Disney Plus as well.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's a little bit of a dramatization. It's historical fiction. I was reading reviews of the show before I watched it, but people were saying it's kind of like a telenovela. But the thing is, I watched it, I was like, this is not giving soap vibes.
Oh, okay.
It's not giving like soap vibes where when I think of a soap and a telenovela.
Yeah, it's not like so
It's
dramatic.
not like that. It's more of like it just is focusing on the love and the relationships of the people.
Okay. Yeah.
But it does completely involve the civil unrest, the industrialization, what that did to the working class, like chopping arms off when
Oh my gosh.
like mechanical machines became a thing. They didn't know safety regulations and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's one of those things we talked about in your timeline is that the working class rose up and we're like, we're not just going to be treated like this anymore. People
Right.
are dying.
Yeah.
We're losing limbs.
Yeah.
You lose a limb, you lose your livelihood. A lot of times. The narrative concludes around the proclamation of the Kingdom of Italy in 1861.
Okay.
Which then your ancestor, specifically Angela, that we are talking about, is born. This is a really good backstory to like plop her parents in. You can be like, her parents are the ones that they got laid off when the machines came through or whatever. So it's the historical context is the period covers the Florio family's journey from Calabria to Sicily, their establishment of a successful business, and the impact of major historical events like wars and revolutions. So they come from Calabria, which is the bottom of the boot. That was a part of Kingdom of Two Sicilies. But they come to Sicily, where your family has been established for a couple hundred years.
Cool. Okay, I'm excited to watch it.
Learning more about this history and the records and context of history and learning about the history of Sicily, it makes so much more sense why Italians and Sicilians do look different depending on the concentration of blood. Because they are so much tanner, more Mediterranean, Middle Eastern looking, but also so distinctly. Roman rule was so established there for so long too. You've got the like Grecan noses that then evolve over time into like an Italian nose, but mixed with Middle Eastern features. So that's why I feel like Sicilians are so distinct.
Yeah.
So that's your homework. And then you're going to send me a voice memo.
Oh, fun. Okay.
And this voice memo doesn't have to be anything specific. If you have updates from grandma, if you have, like, you call grandma and she remembers something that her grandma had told her, like, oh yeah, she said that she was a really good cook. Anything. Like, that's cool. Then go and put that on Family Search and be like, my grandma said she made the best pies. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, not pies. Probably something Italian. Cannolis.
We're Italian pies.
Italian pies. Literally anything. And then also your thoughts after watching the show.
Yeah.
Then placing your family in context of that show. Just vibes and thoughts.
Vibes and thoughts. Yeah.
Send me a little voice memo and I'm going to play that on our Throwback Thursday segment. So that'll play the following. So basically the next person's episode will post and then I'll put your Throwback Thursday after that person's episode. So
I remember seeing that.
You've got like 10 days.
Okay, cool.
And you don't need to watch, again, like the whole show. I think I seriously only watched the first 3 episodes, and that was enough where it was the main character's childhood, moving to Sicily, and then him as an adult was those first 3 episodes. And it gave so much historical context. It's filmed on location in Palermo.
Well, that's fun.
Costumes, like I said, it was heavily researched. They had the Sicilian Historical Society involved or whatever. It really highlights how classist Sicily was. So you'll understand that in context. Here are my grazies.
Oh, that's so cool.
I've got so Melanie D. Holtz was that genealogist. Yeah, she's a professional genealogist specializing in Italian genealogy and reclaiming Italian citizenship via jure sanguinis. There are lots of people that do that. So if your dad was interested in doing that, you've got enough records for sure.
Oh, cool.
Especially with him going back and like talking to cousins and stuff. He could for sure apply for it.
I need to help him do that because I know he was interested in it too.
Yeah, be like chop chop. And then the Library of Congress for all of Giuseppe Bruno's photos, mostly.
Yeah, those were beautiful. I want to look and see if was that part of like a bigger collection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna download this and send this whole presentation to you, and you
Oh,
can.
thank you.
Yeah, of course. Giuseppe Bruno was that photographer that went around and specifically photographed that class. And it's so cool because the weather's so nice. It's in the Mediterranean. It's pretty good all year round. The little kids he's photographing, none of them have shoes on. Just very island vibes.
Yeah.
Which again is also why there was classism. Also, the island laid back culture made Sicily distinct and was a part of its downfall also, and why so many people left because they were like, oh, things just don't change in Sicily. And it's like, no, they can. You just do it. And people were like, nah. But obviously an oversimplification.
Just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit, but lots of historical records talk about the frustration of people island vibing a little too hard, which led to its downfall, unfortunately. Obviously, it's been 100 years, so lots of stuff is a lot better there now. The government has been taking time to rebuild and fix a lot of old structures that were destroyed during war and revolution, mafia rule. There's also lots of other movies, like, I mean, The Godfather and then The Sicilian. Those are all post your family being there anymore, but they would give context to maybe why your family was like, we're out.
Yeah.
So those are my grazies. Thank you so much for being a part.
Oh my
of this
gosh, thank you so much. Can I give you my grazie?
Let me come out of this and I want you to yap. So let me stop sharing.
I just want to say thank you so much, Aliya. It's so cool to even just know they were farmers. Like I didn't know anything about what they did. Even just knowing that detail is like, I can picture their lives so much better. And then all of that context you gave, yeah, the photos, everything, that's so much work. And I really appreciate you for doing it.
I love it. I seriously love it. I mean, I love you. I love you so much. But it made me love you and your family in such a different way and have such an appreciation for Frank and his family because I freaking love them. I haven't had tons of opportunities to interact with them, but absolutely adore and love them every time I do get to interact with them. I hope they see this because heart, love you guys. Just the struggle. I mean, the American struggle, immigration, the fight.
The sad mortality rate of kids like that. Like I know that from even my grandma and her siblings. Like she had siblings who died really young, and
crazy that that's still an issue.
That's like a generational trauma in my family that I don't think about that. And like we know we're privileged and all of that stuff, but it's just actually thinking about their lives is like, no, I'm like so privileged.
And they're just looking at you like, we freaking made it.
That's so cool. Yeah.
My girl gets to go to Chipotle when she wants.
Height of luxury.
Luxury, but like seriously, from going from not being able to feed your children, them starving and dying,
and having to marry so young, it's just such a different life than
you'll see in why I think it's cool. And I wanted to make note of, maybe it was arranged, maybe whatever, the main family in the lines of Sicily was arranged, and you see the wife's power struggle and anger and resentment towards that, and how women were treated and stuff. So contextually, obviously we don't know, maybe they didn't love each other, but
I know you always hope, but
the records exist. There could be photos that exist. Super cool that you have contacts, it sounds like, in Italy. Plus you have your Italian speaking husband.
I know. Jeremiah cameo. He's been lurking for the last like 10 minutes. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to say is like the few things I did know were partially because of him, because our family still kind of speaks dialect and not like mainland Italian. So I didn't mention this because this is like the other side. This is my grandpa's side. But when we went and visited them in Quindici, which is a little village outside of Naples, he was trying to communicate with my family and they were completely speaking dialect. So he was like, eh, and then trying to translate to me, and we were all just like, it was really fun.
Hard.
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, I didn't want to get us too off topic on like
but I love it. I love it.
And then of course there's then Italian American dialect too. I've told him like, oh yeah, my grandpa used to say this and this and this, and he's like, I don't know those words, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. My husband is Spanish as a first language, but Texas Spanish, which we've come to find is actually highly influenced by his native tribe as well.
Oh, interesting.
And so the accent and the words are so different. Then so we'll be speaking in Spanish and he'll be like, not that word.
Yeah.
But I most of my teachers, I learned Spanish on the East Coast
Mhm.
from Spain.
Yeah,
Like,
that's so
English
different.
Spanish speakers. So it's been very fun to like talk to his family. Sometimes I'm talking to them and I'm like, I know what you're saying, but it's going really fast. And now I'm stressed to respond.
I guess just my thought is how our lives are so specific, and I feel like I sometimes think of my day-to-day life as mundane or not that purposeful a lot of the times, but then like imagining someone years from now looking back to my life and being like, oh, this is the town she lived in? That's so cool. Mundane little parts of our existence are like interesting when you have like perspective, like when you're like zooming out. And yeah, so it's really cool. It does make me want to talk to my grandma about what she remembers and what she knows, and my aunt knows a lot of stuff too. So yeah, I have stuff to do.
And send them the episode if they want to add anything. I'll play it too. Like
Yeah.
send me if they want to type me a message or whatever, or they can just listen to it and be like, that was dumb, and then not say anything. That's fine too. No, they can also say, you are wrong. Give it all to me. I want to hear. Like the whole point of this is that it's a collective, it's a crowdsourcing gathering of information. So
Yeah.
let's learn from each other.
Love it. I don't know how the kids are doing it these days. I'm not good at it.
I like this.
Oh yeah, this one is cute.
This is what they'd be doing.
This is what I'm bad at. Great content for your audio listeners right now.
We're trying to do hand hearts, and we're discussing the legitimacy of the millennial versus the Gen Z.
This is my home right here, the millennial hand heart.
I do appreciate a good little finger.
Yeah, the K-pop hand heart.
Good luck on your audition.
Oh, thank you.
My little Sesame Street queen.
Liv was on Sesame Street.
Oh, were you the Diamond Tap kid?
I was the Whoopi's Little Bird, the Whoopi's
Whoopi's Little
show.
Bird.
That was me.
That was me. I love you. We're still doing it. We're still acting. Look at us. Can't escape.
Yeah, well, especially you, Miss Girl.
Miss Girl, who is not employed.
Auditioning is your job. Like, auditioning is so much.
Auditioning and rejection is the job, people. Don't get in this unless you have.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah.
A lot of. You can afford therapy or are dead inside. I'm just kidding.
All of the above.
I genuinely love it. I do. It's such a fun pursuit. And that's why I love this, because I love storytelling.
Yeah.
Getting to know characters. And I love doing this. And that's why this has been so fun for me and fulfilling, where I'm not like working jobs right now.
Yeah.
This is fulfilling to storytell.
Good. Yeah.
History. I mean, and I was going to be a history major, but I decided I didn't want to write myself into oblivion. So this is like
Jeremiah was, and that is what he did. He was just always writing papers. Yeah.
I like writing, not that much.
Yeah, I really appreciate all the hours of work you put into this, and I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you and grazie for listening to this episode. If you are related to this line and want to add more information, email us. Please email us corrections or anything. We would love to read them out in future episodes and feature them on our Throwback Thursday segment, which is completely dedicated to updates from prior episodes. We do have content that comes to you every single day, but Thursdays are literally dedicated to that, okay? So give me the info, correct me. I love it. You're welcome to send that via video or voice note explaining, or you can type it out for me to read. Or, I don't know what that was. All right, going on. Or if you're just on this family line and want to give us a shout out that you learned something or whatever, give us a shout out. Any shock, any disgust, any joy, whatever it is. You're welcome to also send those in. We love it. If you're unrelated, but this podcast still gave you some feelings that you'd like to express, the good, the bad, and the beauty, Like I said, we don't discriminate. Let us know. We love words of affirmation around here. Direct message us across all platforms, but the easiest way to get a hold of us will be through our email, which is connectivecollective@gmail.com. That is FH for family history. Connective Collective, FH@gmail.com. And, give us a review if you feel like it. We don't care. We're not looking forward to those at all. We are not sponsored by anyone so far. If you would like to change that, please reach out. And I just want to say we are not sponsored by FamilySearch.org. We literally just want you to understand that you can do this for free. This will remain a free resource that aims to entertain but also inspire anyone to pick up their genealogy journey. We always start with our guests getting connected to FamilySearch.org if they're not already on it. All outside resources are found through messaging others who have added to their ancestors' profile and the rabbit holes that sends us on, or the records on the free websites. If you are ever stuck on Family Search, they have resource centers all over the world that are free for you to access, and we are happy to help you locate one if you feel lost. You will be helped as little or as much as you'd like by a specialist at these centers for free. What I love about these centers, as someone who is a family history veteran, when you access your free, I can't say it enough, free account, if you access your free account from Family Search while physically being in one of these Family Search sites, you get access to all of the awesome but expensive other databases online because of their partnerships with Family Search. While you may have hit a wall in your genealogy while hunting at home, maybe, just maybe, it's only a curtain. If you want to sponsor us, please don't hesitate to reach out. It would be much appreciated. We love you. Crowdsourcing information is what allows this collective to connect. Thank you and grazie for being a part of Connective Collective.